Student housing, particularly hostel, has become a thorny adventure when it comes to the educational corridors in certain parts of the sub-Saharan Africa. When it comes to accommodation, or let me say hostel, it is a key factor for a student who is schooling. And a lot of students travel all walks of life to get educated. And in this period of migration, I would say housing or accommodation becomes a problem. Some universities currently do have some form of accommodation for students, but some do not. Now we want to talk about assessing the hostels and its affordability. Today I have here with me lovely guest on African Student Voices show. My name is Jemima Deladem Doche, and we are here to talk about assessing student housing in the higher educational ecosystem. And as I said, I have with me lovely guests, but I'll introduce them after the break. You can also follow the conversation on our social media handles, Association of African Universities, on Facebook and YouTube. We'll be back. Stay tuned. Back from the break. And if you just joined us, this is African Student Voices on AAU TV. And AAU TV is the voice of higher education in Africa. Today, we are here to talk about assessing student housing in the higher educational system. Higher educational ecosystem, sorry. And I have here with me lovely guest whom I'm going to introduce. So I have here with me Kwapong Michael, kissiedu, and he is from the University of Ghana, former University of Ghana City Campus SRC aspirant. And I also have with me Kelvin Saka. I'm right? Okay, so Yasantua Hall President, Junior Common Room, University of Professional Studies, Accra. And I've been joined online by Miss Evelyn Atieno Dinda, yes, a student at Kiriri University of Science and Technology from Kenya, and she's also the founder of Homa Bay Empowerment Youth Network. And lastly, I've been joined by Mr. David Gantim, and he is the head of hall assistant at the TF Hostel, University of Ghana. You're all welcome. Now we will go straight into the conversation. So first of all, I would want us to, look at the whole accommodation and hostel when it comes to, the students level, the university students. How has the journey been? I know both of you are students, including Evelyn, and then I know you're a manager, let me say a manager of a hostel. Yeah, so I want us to talk about the housing, how the housing experience has been, right, from where you started. I know you guys are ahead. You are not freshers.
Yes.
So I would want you to run me through how the hostel facility or getting a hostel as a student has been, how it was, and currently what the situation is. I'll start from you, Kevin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Madam Jemima.
You're welcome.
So I've been in the University of Professional Studies and this is my fourth year.
Okay.
Basically, I've been at the UPSC hostel since level 100.
Mhm.
I've never been out of the UPSC hostel. I've been booking the
Okay.
university hostel since I got admission at the UPSC.
Okay.
So with the UPSC hostel system,
Mhm.
you have to book the hostel online.
Mhm.
They give the students of the university the opportunity to book the rooms they want. We have hostel A, hostel B, and hostel C.
So what
Okay.
makes hostel B, hostel A, hostel B, hostel C?
So hostel A is has 7 floors. Hostel B has 9 floors. Hostel C also has 9 floors. But hostel A was the first hostel built at UPSC, followed by hostel B and then
Okay.
hostel C. Okay. And the prices also ranges. Okay. The prices also ranges. They are not the same. The prices ranges.
Mhm.
So with the hostel, you book per your finances. I
Okay.
mean your pocket,
Yeah.
what you can afford.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think the hostel C is the one which is costly. That has the highest amount. So
Mhm.
when you're booking, the system is made in such a way that you see the 3 hostels. You select which hostel you want to book. When you select the hostel, then the rooms available will pop up.
Mhm.
When the rooms pop up, we are going to have the beds allocation. We have bed 1, bed 2, bed 3, and bed 4. Typically, bed 1 and 3 are down beds, and then 2 and 4 are top beds.
Okay.
Yeah. So before you book, you have to read the user agreement. Okay.
All right.
So it's like
like that. I mean, you said you're in level 400 now. So level 100, were you still booking? Has something changed? We want to see the progress. What was there before and what is it now?
Okay, so basically during my first day of booking, when you're booking, you are limited to your hall. Okay. Now the building has halls in them. So when you go to hostel, we have Santua Hall, that is the ground floor and first floor. We have Kwapong Hall, the second floor and the third floor. We have Liberty Hall, the fourth floor, fifth floor, and then Nelson Mandela Hall, that is the sixth floor and seventh floor. Now, if you are affiliated to your Santua Hall, okay, you can only book rooms on the ground floor. That is if you're a male. And then when you're a female, you book rooms on the first floor. So all the even numbers are for male, and then the odd numbers are for females. Exactly. So that was how it was during when I was in level 100. So when you are booking the rooms, if you're here at Santua, you're only limited to rooms on the ground floor.
Yeah.
So when the rooms on the ground floor are all full, then you have no chance of booking the hostel.
So that means you won't get a hostel at all.
You won't get a hostel, the UPS hostel.
But now, how is it?
So now the rooms have been made available to all. So whether ground floor, second floor, fourth floor, or the sixth floor, all the rooms will show. All the rooms will show, and then you can book the desired room you want. Exactly.
Mr. David, let me come to you. Since you have been a hostel manager, I mean, you've been in the system for quite some time, I believe. Yeah. So how has the housing situation been? I mean, years ago and as of currently, what has changed and what's the improvement like?
Thank you very much. By the way, I'm not the manager.
Oh, okay.
My boss is there.
Your boss is there.
I'm head of hall assistant.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
So, yeah, I have 20 years posted in 2013, almost 11 years now.
Wow.
Yes. So during those times, hostel facilities, we were chasing for the people.
Okay.
I believe now people are chasing.
People are chasing.
Yes. Yeah, it is. So during that time, there were instances where in the academic year we wouldn't get full occupancy.
Okay.
We have rooms available, can get a full floor empty because the population that university was employing were less. Yeah, so we have more accommodation than people. People, yes. So when it got that way, we decided that we're into business. Instead of making losses, we will have to find a way.
Yeah.
And then the university gave us the go ahead to take school other students from other universities, yes, to be able to subsidize our expenses. But when it got to a particular time, we realized that the population is increasing.
Yeah.
The university has increased its enrollment. So the pressure started coming out, and the university came back and said, "Oh, our people are home now. So
we have to take them out."
Stop taking other universities and then concentrate on us.
Oh, okay.
So that's why we got to. Now I think now the situation is, as I say, is a bit challenging because when school opens like this,
yeah,
phone calls, pressure, you don't sleep, it's stressful, very, very stressful.
That's like that.
Stress, no. Because we go to advertise for students. We even do flyers.
Oh, okay.
I remember there was some time we would have to do flyers. My boss, we did, what's the name? Banner. We have to go and place for students to come. We went to other private universities.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, to see students.
Okay. So before I come to you, Michael, let me go to Evelyn. Evelyn, if you can hear me. Yes. So I want us to talk about the situation of students' housing when it comes to Kenya, or precisely, let me say, your school. How has the situation been like before and currently? How is it?
Okay, if I have to say, back here, okay, my name is Evelyn, just as Mama have said. So here in Kenya, we have now the public universities, we have the private universities, we have the Kenya Institute of Medical, the colleges. So what happens is we have some universities that have the hostels. We call them hostels. So the hostels are built or they are structured inside the university. And then we have some that are outside the university, of course, within the control of the university. So what happens if you are a fresher or if you are joining first year in college or in university, you book the university online or you book it in the administration block. And for you to book it, it means you must have cleared or have paid half of the fee, and then you book it online. And then after booking it online, you'll choose, of course, whether you are a male or female, so that they can allocate you. And if it happens that you are the ones that are within the school are already booked, it means you have to go to the hostels that are located outside the university. So what happens? People will always, or students will always prefer the universities that are within the school, because first, the time limit, it means you don't have to use the buses or you don't have to use the matatus, if you understand, to get to school. So most of the students will always rush to book the ones that are within the school.
Okay. So was that the same issue, or let me say, was that how it was previously? Do you still do, was it still online, or now there has been some form of improvement when you want to book hotel?
Previously, it wasn't like that, because first, if you consider previously, I think the number of students joining universities and the colleges is a bit high now. So previously, my brother would tell me that they would be there was no rush to book a hostel, and they were enough for almost everyone. So you'll just go to school, and then the government will also be the one to clear the fees and everything, the loans. So it wasn't so hectic as it is now, because the population, yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then I think you spoke about, I didn't quite get that place clearly, but you spoke about the fact that sometimes when the hostels in the school are full, you need to opt for the ones outside campus. So those ones, were they still under the regulation of the school, or they are like private kind of hotels?
Okay, for some, they are private, but in partnership with the institution. And then for others, they are just owned by the school or owned by the school management or something like that. But there are also some people that get an idea of building a hostel and ensuring that they are going to ensure the security and everything that the students need. So most of them are for the school. Most of them are in partnership with the school. Either way, it can be a friend or management.
Okay. All right. Sure. Thank you, Evelyn. Let me come to Michael. Okay, so Michael, can you run us through how has the issue of accommodation, or let me say hostel, been for Legon? I know Legon, you people have a lot, and I don't know if your halls, or let me say your hostel facilities, are able to accommodate all your students. So
Jemima, thank you for this opportunity, Jemima. With the hostel accommodations on campus, Legon, as at now, we have about 45,000 population on campus, and the schools, halls can accommodate about 10,000.
Okay.
And then private also plays a major role, about around 1,000, 500, or sorry, 15,000.
Okay.
Yeah, so roughly about 25,000 there. So it should tell you that definitely a lot of people are going to be left outskirts the shell or the halls of the the university, because having a 45,000 population is too much. Great. And then the housing cannot meet that requirement. So definitely what was setting is the accommodation deficit.
Yeah.
Great. But unlike first, when my fellow discussant was saying about when the school started to operate, and then when they also came in, they built their estate, the demand was a little down, because the people were not in their numbers as used to compare to today, because yearly basis, they increase the enrollment.
Yeah.
So you can imagine 10 years ago when the enrollment would have been maybe 10,000.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
So 10,000 can be able to house all the students. But unlike today, good. And then with Eugene, we have, the diaspora hall, which encompasses Kwapong Hall, Lehman Hall, Nelson, and then Jane Nelson Hall.
Okay.
And then we also have the private hostels, the TF Bunny, Pentagon Hall. And we also have the traditional halls.
Okay.
That is the Legon Hall, Volta Hall, and then Commonwealth Hall. These are the halls in there. But still, the bed capacity cannot house the number of people on campus. But unlike first, it can house them, but now it cannot house them because now the net has been expanded.
Yeah.
So
that's a lot.
Great. So there is therefore the need for more in accommodation.
But then how many people does, let me say, a room? How many people roughly?
Okay, so the maximum is 4 in a room across board everywhere. All the hostels, all the halls on campus is 4 in a room. Yes, and so it take 4, and you have 2 in a room. You have 1 in a room. Those are are the periphery halls where the private halls are.
Yeah.
That is the Pens, TF, Bunny. They accommodate 1, 2, 3 in rooms. But with the traditional halls, it's like a constant 4 in a room. And then also the diaspora too is a constant 4 in a room. Yes.
Okay. But then let's talk about pricing. Let's come quickly down to pricing. What actually, let me say, what are the factors that go into pricing a hostel? What factors determines the price of a hostel? Let me still be on you, Michael.
So with the pricing, there is a major factors. In fact, a major active players around the price. And one, if for instance I'm an estate and an estate developer, I want to come to Legon, I have to sit on negotiation table with management, right? And then rooting from the fact that when management comes with outrageous demanding, you get it, probably or possibly it will have a skyrocketing influence when the pricing also comes out. Now leasing of lands has been a problem from the university management. Now estate developers getting money to be able to fuel their project has been a problem. Interest rates are battling them. You get it. Now if you are an estate developer and you want to build a hall or hostel, in fact not just in Legon but outskirts everywhere in Ghana here, you have to import building materials. That is in terms of the quality, because most of the times you don't really trust the credibility of our internal product. So we therefore go in for foreign ones. So the foreign ones, the duty that you're going to also pay, right? It's all these are factors that influencing the pricing. Again, still we have in terms of the school has a set up rules that you need to meet up to, which is and the features in an estate, having kitchenettes, balconies, libraries, and laundries, and all sort of that. All these are major, factors that goes on into the pricing.
Okay. Now let me come to. I know that sometimes when you want, let's say, hostel, I think you said your traditional hostels are like constant 4 in a room.
Yeah, constant 4 in a
So
room.
those that have the 1 in a room, 2 in a room, I think let me come to you, rather, Mr. David. Yeah. You are part of those who run some of these hostels. Let me ask, how is the pricing? What goes into pricing a hostel? Does even the number in a room count when you are pricing hostel or when you are billing individual student?
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, when we talk of billing, we consider a lot of things. That's services we provide, things we do for them. For instance, TF Hostel, we provide shuttle. It runs to campus from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Okay. You imagine if you have to forward this bus, 2 buses, then it goes around. How much you buy for now? Okay. You understand? Okay. And then we have each floor has a kitchen, and we provide gas for each kitchen. So look at how much it costs to provide gas for each kitchen. And then at the beginning of every month, we buy prepaid for each meter. Okay. Yeah. So looking at how much we consume on electricity bill for each meter. So when you calculate all these things, look at water bill. Yes, and then look at the water bill.
Okay.
When we give you how much we consume, the liters we consume a month, you wouldn't believe
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Oh, okay.
It's a lot.
I see.
So when you factor all these things into our operation, you realize that, oh, you need to do something about
But you mentioned shuttle. So do you, already add that bill to the hostel fee, or you bring the shuttle there? So as a student goes, the student pays, or everything is
charged. It's part of
now,
the
I'm
fee.
sure there are a few fee you add just on top.
Oh, no.
Because if let's say I'm a student,
Okay.
I'm not going to class like Monday to Friday. Maybe my classes are Monday to Thursday.
Okay.
But then I have been billed together with someone who is going to campus Monday to Friday. You see?
Yes, I understand.
Yeah.
And even some people also take it as, I don't know how they treat it. Someone would decide, oh, I'm feeling bored. Let me just enter the shuttle, go to campus, and come back.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Without any so people do that.
Okay.
You just go and board the shuttle, go around. So consider all those factors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you can't treat each person different. You just have to balance it.
Okay.
So that those who take this way and those who take that way will come together to equate.
Okay. So before I go to Kevin, I'll come to Evelyn. Evelyn, if you can hear me, what goes into pricing the hostel facilities when it comes to your school, or when it comes to Kenya? How is the pricing like? What goes into it?
About the pricing, it differs depending on the type of on which type of university. Like for private university, you'll find that the pricing is not the same with the public university, because for private university, it is the full sponsor, like it's students sponsoring themselves to get to the university. And then in here, it also depends on the location of the university. For instance, the universities that are within the town is a bit expensive as considered to the ones that are found in the local areas. So one, it's the location, then it's the area, the locality of the institution, then it's the management of the institution, whether it's for the government or it's for the private.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's very interesting. Okay, so I'll come back to Kevin. So how is the pricing in UPS? I think UPS currently, I've seen that you guys are building quite a number of hostel facilities for your students. So what goes into, I think I have a fair idea because I had a student there who once complained about the hostel fee. But then let me ask you, how's the pricing like?
So the hostel,
if possible, you can let me know how much you pay. For a hostel, a semester.
Okay, so for a semester, as I said earlier on, we have 3 hostels and the prices are different. We have hostel A, that is 1,870. We have hostel B, 2,310, and then hostel C, 2,420 Ghana cedis.
So why the difference? Is there any special facility each of them have, which makes the difference?
So currently, hostel C is the new hostel which was commissioned last year, 2023.
Okay.
And with the hostel C's facility, since the rooms are new, all the beds, the mattresses,
everything is current pricing.
Yes, so it's all factored into the price, including the maintenances and then water.
Okay.
The university pays for the water, so all is being factored into the pricing.
Okay.
Exactly.
But then do students opt for outside hostels if they find out yours is too expensive, or comparing it to maybe the outside apartments? Or you see, currently I think there is something happening right now that some people use their their apartments for hostels, and then they give it to students, not even the private, those personal accommodation for individual people. So comparing your price to these outsiders, which one is, I know you have an idea, which one is more expensive?
The UPSC hostel is
more expensive?
No, it's not more expensive. It's moderate. I think
it's more
cheaper as compared to
the
other
outsiders
private hostel.
Okay.
When it comes to the 4-in-a room, the UPSC hostel is much more better than the private hostels. Exactly.
Okay.
But when you come to the 2-in-a room, the UPSC hostel is also much affordable.
So in all, it's like UPSA is, I mean, the pricing is more affordable than the outside.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's a great one. So this has been African Student Voices, and we were discussing assessing the students' issues, or let me say students' housing issues in the various universities. We'll go for a quick break, and when we come back, we'll delve more into the conversation. Stay tuned. Welcome back from the break. And if you just joined us, this is African Student Voices on AAU TV. And you can follow the conversation on our social media handles, Association of African Universities on Facebook and YouTube. So we've been discussing assessing student housing in the higher educational ecosystem. And before we went on break, we were talking about how affordable these hostel facilities are to the various students. So we are back from the break, and I want to start with Evelyn. Evelyn, if you can hear me. Okay, so I would want us to talk about the impact of housing issues, how it affects the overall well-being of students and equally the academic performance. I know that when it comes to the housing issues, it takes a toll on students. Imagine you are a fresh student who is starting from level 100, and then you apply, you have admission, and then now you do not have an accommodation or a hostel, or let me say you're even struggling to get a hostel, or maybe you do not even get one at all. I mean, how does that affect the students' well-being and even the academics as a whole?
Okay, thank you so much. First, I want to say that if you get to the hostel, it means if you get to the institutional hostels, it gives you a better way of accessing the learning materials, like the library, getting on time for the lectures. But in this case, when you miss them or if you don't access one, it means first, like you all know Nairobi with the traffic, so it means that you will not even be able to try and get on time with the academics or with the classes. And then second, for the institutional hostels, it's a bit cheaper as compared to renting outside. And then for you to get to the hostel, it means you have to have cleared the all fee for the hostel. So it means it will eliminate the disturbances of you have arrears, you have rent arrears, because you have to pay or clear the debts at the initial of you to those hostels. So I think first it eliminates stress for students, because at every point that you are joining a hostel, it means you have to clear the whole debt with at least half of the fee. Then third, it is restricted in a way that there is no crimes. We all know that students there are some universities that are located in town, some are located in the rural. So it eliminates a lot of crimes because there is more security and a lot of leisure for students. I know students will love fun, they love interactions and everything. So for students that are in a hostel, and for these, I have to say maybe institutional hostels, not the ones that are managed by individuals. They have set of rules for schools that you have to follow. So students that are living, or the ones that are staying in these hostels, they are better off than those ones that are in rentals, because in rentals, that is where you will find there are always bashes for students, there are always the parties, there are just a lot of crimes. So for me, I would prefer that if you are a fresher and if you are a new student at a university or in a college, it's better you get to those institutional hostels, because they will equip you, they will get you, they will give you the better direction of the university. And I think that is just better off for students. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Evelyn. Let me come to Michael. So let's talk about still on the well-being of students. How is you getting a hostel or you coming from home? How does it affect the student's well-being or the academic performance?
So, Eugene, getting a hall is a merrymaking.
Okay.
After getting admission, getting a hall is a merrymaking. In fact, you have to celebrate. Because imagine the 45,000 as of now, and you being a special one, the lucky one, you have to pop champagne. And so imagine, out of these people, and then you are not fortunate.
Yes.
You are left behind the door, that you didn't get accommodation.
Yeah.
Now, the consequences can be from various aspects, in the sense that I have a friend who has been, non-resident for the past 4 years. And you could clearly see how, there's a sponge in his academic life. When, your colleagues are on campus, you might be caught up in traffic, or sometimes we run the lectures and not on the ordinary moment. I mean, we can run some in evening.
Okay.
It happens. We can take quizzes in the evening that a lecture has to supervise and all of that. And when it happens that someone from Kaswa, after school, I mean, now how things have been, the country, violence and stuff, will get it. So you will see that it is going to have a debilitating, effect on your academics, right? And because I recall, last 2 semesters or so, there was a lady who was beaten at the TF Paint Stretch Day, the TF Vivendi Stretch Day. Right? There was, the lady was met by these hoodlums, and we're trying to get something from her at very odd hours. And the investigation, it was unraveled that this student is a non-resident.
Okay.
He wants to, chase academic excellence. And look at what has met him, what met her, sorry.
Okay.
And so that is one aspect of it. Again, so, as a student, if you are faced with this challenge, you are therefore given the opportunity to go for a hostel that it's beyond your financial muscles.
Yeah.
Because, hostel operators on campus and outside campus has taken advantage of the, less competition of hostels or halls on campus, and then they are pricing over, making over prices. I mean, some of the prices are very, very outrageous.
How much do you pay?
Well, me, I paid 2,380 per semester.
Per semester?
Yes, that is in diaspora, Kwapong Hall. Great. And the traditional halls, they are paying somewhere 1,500, 1,600 the whole year.
The whole year?
Yeah, the whole year.
Oh.
I mean, Jimama, it's even now that, it has increased so much. Because I remember 3, 4 years down the line, I mean, they were paying 800 cedis for a whole year. Yeah, 800 cedis for a whole year.
A whole year?
For a whole year.
And that's good.
The Commonwealth was the Legon Hall, the Kwapong Hall, the Mensa Saba Hall. They were paying 800 cedis for a whole year.
Then now it's so different.
Now they are nearing 2,000. Yes, they are nearing 2,000. I'm not really, I'm abreast or speaking from the exact figures.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they are nearing 2,000.
2,000.
Yes.
Okay, I think you made mention of the fact that some lecturers do organize quizzes in the evenings and all that. First of all, I want to ask, is that part of the schedule? I mean, part of your schedule or your timetable, if I should ask?
So these are unaware, instances, and these are unforeseen. You didn't plan for it. Neither did the lecturer or management plan for it.
So why is that so? Because I'm a student. Okay, this one I'm taking it from the student's perspective. This one I want to be on the side of the student. I'm a student. I have applied. I came to school. I applied for a hostel, but unfortunately, I didn't get it because the hostel facilities are not a lot. And you, a lecturer, decide to organize a quiz in the evening, and I'm not able to attend. I mean, first of all, the authorities, I feel like it's a way of not favoring the student, because it's not like there are hostels and the students are not. There are no hostels. So why then do you organize this surprise quizzes for students when you know that some of them, are not around? I don't know whether it's part of the timetable or whether, every student is made aware that there are some of these things that you have to prepare for.
So it's not part of the timetable or maybe your academic schedules, but then it can come. And then it has been a culture that we've now, entwined ourselves in Legon. And so in as much as it is not part of the schedule or maybe the timeline, the timetable, once you know it is possible to happen, definitely you always have to prepare yourself. I remember last week we were informed by a lecturer. I read sociology and linguistics 400, and then a lecturer told us that we should come to class, which is this Monday. And then where I was caught up in the program at Kumasi, And then, my schedules was so tight, but I still had to manage and come. Great. But trying to, come in there along the line, I met unforeseen, tragedy. Yes, and the way coming. And so I had to quit coming. Right. So the condition was that, when you don't come, I'm going to, allocate marks to those who were present
and leave you out.
and leave you out. It doesn't care about, what is happening in your in your personal life. It doesn't care about that.
Yeah. Then I think those who do not, get access to hostels are, they are a bit sometimes left out in a lot of things.
A lot of times they are left out.
So that means it goes down to affect their grades, I'm sure, at the end of the semester.
Yes, it affects them a lot of times.
Okay. Yeah. I see. Let me come to you, Kevin. Please, how has it been for you, PSC? I think for you guys, your hostels are a bit around you. And I don't know if your hostels and your population currently is apart. I don't know if your hostels currently are able to accommodate all your students and how it is affecting their well-being or their academic performance.
Okay, thank you. So currently UPSC has a population of approximately 22,000 students for undergrads, okay? And the hostel can accommodate 4,500 students.
Wow.
Yes, 4,500.
So what happens to the rest, about 10,000?
Yes, so in the environs of Medina, okay, we have a lot of private hostels around there.
Under the school?
No, not under the school. There are private hostels, private apartments around Medina. Now, let's take this. Now, let's say I'm an evening student. No, I'm a regular student and my class ends at 5 p.m. Okay, I'm a non-resident and I'm staying at Kaswa.
Yeah.
Now, 5 p.m. my lectures ends. I have to go back home. Now, from here to Kaswa will take me 2 hours to get to Kaswa. Now, I've gotten home. I have to do my assignment, rest, and prepare for the next day. The next day I have class at 7 a.m.
So you have to wake up.
I have to wake up early, rush,
come to class.
And come to class at 7 a.m. Now, me being a non-resident is affecting me mentally, one.
First of all,
mentally. Secondly, now my academics. I have to be rushing to class in and out. But if you were to be a resident, now you have free access to the university's facilities, to the library, to the lectures, to the study rooms. Exactly. So you see, you being a resident, there are so many opportunities and advantages you are going to enjoy to gain your academic pursuit. But you being a non-resident, I think you're going through a lot.
But before then, do you guys also organize evening quizzes like the going through?
Yes, we also do that. But ours is mostly online.
Oh, okay. That one is a bit better.
Yes, we have online quizzes. If you're a regular student, for you to have a quiz in the evening, it's going to be online.
Okay.
Yes, and we have school for the evening students. Yes, they do their quizzes in class in the evening. Yes, but for a regular student, morning session. If your quiz is going to be online, if your quiz is going to be in the evening, then it's going to be online.
Then I think that's a bit better. So I think Legon moving forward can pick this so that those who are non-residents can help. Now let me come to you, since you are ahead in the hostel facilities and all. What measures are put in place to ensure accessibility of hostels to students? I don't know how accessible it is. Is it that you guys have a particular people you give it to? Is it just level 100s, level 400s, or is first come first served? How accessible is your hostel facilities?
Yeah, thank you very much. Our hostel facility accessibility is easy. Assuming we're on break. Yes, like the school academic calendar has ended. We're in session. We open up the portal. We have an online portal, which we allocate rooms to. We open up the portal to continue students who will be willing to move in the next academic year. And then we allocate some to the level 100. The university will request for a quarter. They request that, give us this number of rooms for our incoming level 100 students. So you reserve those rooms for them. And the rest, you put it on the portal for any other continuous student to pick up. So when continuous students exhaust their rooms, I think that ends it. So the remaining rooms are for the level 100s.
Okay.
So when they come, then they also fight for what is left for them.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. But when it comes to maintenance, how do you maintain your facilities? Because I know that sometimes there are issues of light. I mean, a number of rooms can have different issues at the same time. So how is the maintenance done? And even apart from solving individual challenges or room challenges or whatever, I mean, how frequent are you change your facilities? Do you renovate and all that?
Yeah. Yes, we do. Always do. Because we have in-house electrician, we have plumber. But apart from the carpenters, we have subcontractors who always come in to help in the carpentry works. We have this anomalous form. Let's say if you have a problem, there's an anomalous form. You come and fill it. And then the handyman will come and go through the distance and obtain the problems that has been recorded, go room to room and fix them. Okay. So when that is done, there's a portion for the handyman to indicate, oh, I've done the work. And then there's a portion for the student to verify that, oh, the work has been done. So at the end, if you've signed and I've signed, I take a copy, I give it to you. Okay. And there's a duplicate that I keep for the office. Okay. Yes, so that's how we are running with our. Okay, so if I get you, of course, everybody's issue is being solved. So in a day, let's say there are 10 rooms, you've got a complaint from 10 different rooms with different problems. So is that one person going to fix all the 10 rooms, or there are a number of people that do different things at the same time? Yeah. When we have issues in a day, mostly the truth is we can't finish every issue in a day. Yeah. Assuming electrical issue, some are time consuming. Yeah. You might go through some processes before you install whatever it is. Yeah. But if it is something that has to do with meter, that has to do with something that's to put on something, this one you can just use it and then one thing we also do is let's say the hall assistants, the porters and all. We also have experiences in those things. So when a problem comes and it's minor, we don't wait for the electrician or the plumber. We just go ahead and then do it. Okay. So when it happens that way, the pressure comes down on them. Okay. Evelyn, if you can hear me. So I would want us to still continue and talk about the maintenance when it comes to the various universities. I mean, as a student, you are in the hostel. How frequent are the facilities maintained? And I mean, how frequent are issues when it comes to various rooms being dealt with or solved?
Thank you so much. I can't lie, but I don't. They are never attended as fast or as quick as we expect. I think most of the times you will have to complain. You will have to do a lot of notices. You have to do a lot of notes on the suggestion box. But at the long run, you'll realize that they are not easily maintained, which I don't know the main reason behind that, but I can say that if they would get improved or if they would get maintained, the better. But for most universities, even as a student leader in private university, because I'm in a private university, you'll find the same problems. And even it's much worse in the public universities, because you'll find that there are not very many considerations even for persons with disability, for girls. So I think it's just a problem that is cutting across all the universities, either for private or for the public universities. Yeah.
Okay, but then before I move on to someone, I want to know how accessible your hostel facilities are. Is there a situation where, I mean, students go through, I mean, tough time when they want to get a hostel facility, or how stressful is it to get a facility or access to the facility, I mean, the hostel?
It is very stressful, because at first it is always first come, first serve. Like first to pay the fee, first to pay the hostel fee, then you will be given the hostel or the room. So it means for the ones that are coming from poor background, or the ones that cannot access that amount at that time, it means you will not be able to access those hostels, or you will have to go to a rental because you can't have the all payment for that hostel. So I don't think it's always an easy thing. It's always so stressful, because first you have to have the cash. Second, the rule is you have to have cleared at least half of the fee, so it's not something very easy. So for someone that cannot even get to a rental or even get a mattress or just the basic to start a rental or just to rent somewhere, then like where will you get that amount, that whole amount to be in a hostel? Because for a hostel there is no installment, you pay it all in full. So it's never easy, but every student, especially for the first year and second year, they always wish to be in a hostel, first because of the security, and most instance it's because of the even the living. As compared to being in a rental or an apartment, you have to pay the bills, you have to pay the water bills, you have to pay the electricity bills, which as compared to when you're in a hostel, you don't have to accrue to all those payments. But getting it is so stressful because it's first the cost consideration. So it means it is first come, first serve. And the population, it means you really have to rush and get one. Or if you don't get it, then you're going to get those worst that are in the list. So if you get to pay it first, you'll get the better ones, or you get the ones that are well maintained. But if you get to pay it last, it means you'll get the ones that becomes an option for everyone. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Evelyn. So we are coming to the end of the conversation. I see that looking at the conversation we are having here, there's been a constant problem. One is affordability, and then one is accessibility, and then the other is the fact that, the population of the various universities do not match with the kind of accommodation or the number of accommodation that the hostels or the accommodation facilities can have. Right now, I want us to talk about the way forward. Looking at all these challenges, personally, from your perspective as a student, what do you think management can do, or what do you think government can do to support students? When it comes to making the hostels very affordable for you to be able to afford, and equally getting a lot of rooms for students, matching the population and then the number of rooms that the university can take. I'll start from you, Michael.
Right. So with my view, tracing back to my former opinion about the housing challenges, I said that when it comes to building materials, mostly we import from outside.
Yeah.
So here is where government should take active role in that. In a situation whereby government want to subsidize the cost involved in construction for university students, government should be able to have a dialogue around the table where there's contractors, and then be able to play active role by subsidizing or just scrapping the levies or the charges when after importation of goods. Again, on the side of management too, as at now, Legon, they have a lot of estate developers on their tables, but they cannot meet the needed conditions that the school want. And then I want to use this opportunity to just appeal to them that students are crying. Their outcry is so much, and so they should try to reorganize their considerable conditions so that there's going to be a lot of estate companies or estate contractors coming in to be able to construct a lot of hostels. Because Jemima, it will interest you to know that now the prices of hall fees are too much. Hostels are too much on Legon campus, but because it is rooted from the fact that there are not a lot. So if there is a lot, then that means there is a competition in the market environment. So they should give in land, and then government should also come in when taking off the duties of importation, right? That is going to affect the affordability of the housing. If it should be affordable, it could all root from all these factors. That is going to, in the end of the day, draw a plan or a cost that is going to favor all the the students and then the contractors as well.
Okay. All right. So let me come to you, Mr. David. Since you're ahead, what is like the way forward for? What is the way forward when it comes to helping students get affordable hostel facilities, or what is being done to, help students as your side?
Thank you very much. I think all the sentiments, all the feelings students are feeling, management is feeling same. With the hostel,
Okay.
we feel more because just last academic year, there was a student who couldn't get accommodation from Taswa, as indicated. She leaves house at 3 a.m.
Wow.
She has to come with her mom. Mom has to come and drop her, then go back home.
Whoa.
And she class ends at 5:30, and she goes back, sleep how many hours? She has to wake up 3:30, come back with her mom. So all these things, we know. I think one thing is management is working on it.
Okay.
Very soon things will change.
Let me come to you, Kevin.
Okay.
Yeah, so what are your last words on how you think things can be done correctly when it comes to the students?
First, I'd like to thank our Vice Chancellor, Professor Abednego Amati, and the Vice Chancellor, Professor Mauto John Kweku Mensah, who is now the incoming Vice Chancellor.
Okay.
They've done extremely great for setting up the extra 2 ultra-modern hostel for UPSC. And I also like to commend the government that they can also do same. They can build at least 2 additional hostels for the University of Professional Studies to accommodate more students, to prevent students from moving from their homes to the universities, which will be giving them mental stress and drop downs in their academics.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So lastly, let me take your view, Evelyn. If you can hear me, what is your view on the way forward when it comes to student housing issues in Kenya, or let me say in your university?
Okay, thank you so much. I think first I want to commend the government that the governments in Africa that are trying so hard to ensure that there are regulated policies that ensure that students are, especially the new students, are given location or are located in the are assigned in the institutional hostels. But I would also commend that at least they check on the pricing, because if the pricing is so high, I know it's a little bit hard now overall, but I will commend that at least pricing becomes a consideration when they are getting the students to get into those hostels. And second, the management should ensure that at least those hostels are up to date in terms of facilities, because they can be a hostel without anything good in them. So that is always an option for someone figuring out, why should I pay all this amount when I can get to an apartment? So one thing that I would ask the government to ensure that there's a policy that ensure that the pricing is all the same for private university, especially than the public, like they should just be in the same rate. Because if you go to a private university, for instance, here in Kenya, you'll find that the rates are so high because there are no regulation, there are no rules that are protecting them or preventing the students, or that are taking care of the pricing. So I would just that a consideration or a policy be regulated on the pricing, then the management of the institution to take in consideration of the management and the facilities and the services that are given to those students that are in the hostels. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you so much, Evelyn. So thanks to everybody. And this has been African Student Voices. And today we discussed assessing student housing in the higher educational ecosystem. And it's been a fruitful conversation. You can watch this conversation anytime on our YouTube and Facebook channel at Association of African Universities. My name is Jemima Deladem Duche. See you same time next time. Bye.